Chapter 20. Me, the Knight and the Wardrobe. So tell me what you've been doing at school today, Grandad shouts in from the kitchen. Not much, Grandad, I yell back. Just the usual things. But what about your marks? Grandad, I look up from my books. Why do you keep asking about my marks? We don't have a test every day. I know, but I like to see if you're improving. To be honest, Grandad, I sighed. You know you said the chess might help my schoolwork? Yes. Well, I wasn't going to tell you, but I think the chess is making my work worse. Worse, says Grandad. I hear the clink of crockery. This should not be. Perhaps we need to make some tweaks. He puts his tea and my juice down on the table. I think it needs more than tweaks, Grandad, I say. I nearly fell asleep in a lesson today because of the dream I had last night. It's making me really irritable. I snapped at Rebecca because she said I should have gone to where? Says Grandad. Did you say chess? What? No, Grandad, I say, trying to cover my mistake. Cello. I should have gone to cello lessons. Cello? Says Grandad. I did not know you were learning a musical instrument. I'm not, Grandad. I was going to listen to her. I see, says Grandad suspiciously. Then he slurps on his tea, all the time looking at me. I stare down at my books. I don't tell him how I nearly went to chess club and that Rebecca snapped at me because she had seen me at the door and thought maybe I was too embarrassed to go in because I was with Jake. I told her it was nothing to do with being embarrassed. It was just that I didn't want to play chess with brainy people like her. She looked hurt when I said that, so I apologised, but I'm not sure she forgave me. Grandad keeps slurping. I put my drink down and turn the page of one of my books. No, says Grandad, putting his hand on my book. Have a break, because I've got a surprise for you. Have you? Yes. Grandad's face lights up. I went into town today and got you a present. You went to town, Grandad? You haven't been to town since Grandma... I know. Grandad interrupts before I can say the D word, but stop talking and open it. He slides a plastic bag across the table. It's a DVD. What? I said excitedly. Spider-Man Homecoming. Did Mum tell you I wanted it? No, it is not Spider coming. Just open it and see. I reach in and pull the DVD case out. On the front is a picture of the actor who played Spider-Man in the first film I got, but the writing says something totally different. Prawn sacrifice? Pawn sacrifice, Grandad jumps in. I hope you like it. I told the man in the shop that you're only just starting to like chess, but you love watching TV. I do, Grandad, I say, flipping the case over. But what's it about? A game of chess, he says. Oh, I can't help but feel disappointed. It's not just any game of chess, Grandad says brightly, like he's trying to lift my spirits. It is about perhaps the best match ever between two of the greatest grandmasters, Bobby Fischer and Boris Spassky. I thought it would be good for you because you learn visually. Do I? Of course you learn from that video game you play at home. What, Fortnite? Yes, and in your tree you learn how to be prepared, get resources, head to the higher ground. I didn't think you took any notice, I say, surprised. I do not go around with my eyes shut, you know, says Grandad, and neither should you. Now let's watch the DVD. I unwrap the DVD and bend down in front of the TV. I insert the disc and pick up the remote. I'm not sure the film will be as interesting as Grandad says, but it's better than watching German TV. Grandad must be thinking the same because when I turn around, he's sitting on the edge of his seat, rubbing his hands. Come and sit here, he says, tapping the sofa seat cushion. I smile to myself. It's like he bought the present for himself, not me, because the last time I saw him this excited and happy watching TV was the last time Germany won the World Cup. In fact, it's been ages since I saw him happy, full stop. I sit down next to him and the film starts to play. A news reporter is standing outside a library-like building and he puts his microphone up to his mouth and says, "This is the World Championship and Bobby Fischer choose to stay in bed today." Ha, says Grandad. Maybe this is not the best example of a chess player to show you after all. I laugh and keep watching. The film switches back to when Bobby Fischer was a young boy. He's sitting in a room playing chess against a man. He beats the man after 11 moves, and then the picture changes to Bobby Fischer walking around a smoky dark hall, playing chess with 10 men, all at the same time. Each time he pauses to make a move, he hits his hand down and stops the clock. As the film keeps playing, the narrator says Bobby Fischer was the American chess champion at the age of 14 and was followed around by reporters and cameras like a film star. I think that maybe being good at chess isn't boring after all. I go to tell Grandad this, but he's too engrossed in the film as a news reporter says something about the match being part of the Cold War between Communist Russia and Free America. I lean forward. What's the Cold War, Grandad? Grandad keeps watching. I tap him on the leg. Grandad, what's the Cold War? Is it a war fought in the winter? Grandad pauses the DVD. No. The Cold War was when the politicians in the East and West stopped talking to each other. Instead, the Russians in the East and the Americans in the West made their armies and their navies bigger and designed weapons that were larger and more powerful. Like Stark Industries versus Wayne Enterprises. I do not know what this is, but this was a time when everybody thought there was going to be a huge war with weapons more destructive and powerful than ever before. And they built a wall too, the Berlin Wall. They constructed it overnight. What, an actual wall? Yes, it split my city in half to stop people of the east of Germany from going to the west. Couldn't people just climb over or walk around it? No, Grandad shakes his head slowly. No, it was far too big for that. What, like massive, Grandad? I hold my arms out wide. Like the Great Wall of China? Not quite, but it was 140 kilometres long with barbed wire on top, so no, you could not climb over. They destroyed all the houses near it and created a wasteland, no man's land, where nobody could go. I was on the eastern side, where the authorities, the police, watched everyone like hawks in case they did or said anything against the government. People were scared to go out and even scared to stay in because they thought they were being watched. There were government spies everywhere. Spies, like in films? Yes, said Grandad. There were lots of... I think of saying spies again because it sounds exciting, but suddenly Grandad's eyes are so watery the TV reflects in them. Grandad, I lean forward, are you okay? Grandad looks down at the DVD remote. I think maybe we should just watch the film. He presses play and the DVD starts again. A reporter talks into a camera. And so the 1972 World Chess Championship begins. The battle between Boris Spassky and Bobby Fischer. The battle of defence and attack. But perhaps, most of all, the battle between East and West. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Grandad taking off his glasses and wipe his eyes. I want to know more about the wall, but I don't want to upset him any more. I lean forward again. Who did you want to win, Grandad? I ask, trying to cheer him up. Bobby, Boris or Bobby? Whose side were you on? Grandad picks up the remote and turns the TV off. I'm sorry, he says. I think I made a mistake. But from the look on Grandad's face, I think it was my fault for asking too many questions about the past. Grandad reaches over the arm of the chair and turns the king on its square. Do you want me to teach me some more, Grandad? I say. Yes, he says. That would be good. Okay, I say, standing up, but I need to go to the toilet first. Grandad smiles wearily as I walk out into the hall. Oh, Felix, he suddenly shouts. When you are up there, can you bring down the night? I found it yesterday. It's on the dressing table. I stop on the stairs. But it's in your room, Grandad. Yes, said Grandad, on the dressing table. I walk to the top of the stairs. I've not been in Grandad's bedroom since Grandma was ill. I've never wanted to. On the landing, I turn the handle and open the door. The room is dark like the sitting room. I reach for the wall and turn on the light. It illuminates Grandad's bed, his flowery duvet and pillows, and the machine that Grandma used to make tea to save her getting out of bed in the morning. I take a step. but it feels like I shouldn't be here. I look across the room and see the night on the edge of the dressing table in front of the window. I walk towards it. A floorboard creaks and Grandad's wardrobe door slowly opens. It smells old, like little bits of Grandad's aftershave mixed with Grandma's scent. I peer inside. All I can see is Grandad's shirts and jackets and his long coats, then a flash of something pink. I reach inside and gently pull the hangers apart. Between Grandad's suits are 3 of Grandma's flowery pink dresses. I thought Mum had taken them all to the charity shop. I remember Grandma was wearing one of them the last time I went with her to town. I kept on at her to take me to McDonald's for a cream egg McFlurry, and she gave in and had one too. We sat at a table by a window and watched people walking by for ages. She said she would always remember it, and I will too, because my McFlurry tasted of her rose perfume. As I go to close the door, I spot a box file peeping out between Grandad's shiny shoes. On top of it is The Little Prince, the book Grandma was reading when Grandad first met her, and the book she used to read to me. I pick it up and flick through it, see the picture of the little prince standing on a mountain. As I turn each page, I can hear Grandma's soft voice reading to me, and the pages seem to smell of her. I swallow hard. I miss my Grandma loads. If I read any more, I think I'll cry, and Grandad will wonder what's wrong. I go to put the book back, but then notice the lid of the box file has slid off. I lift it up. Inside are old photographs of Grandad and Grandma. I pick up a bundle of them and flick through. Grandad and Grandma on the bridge. Grandad and Grandma sitting together on a tram. Grandad and Grandma sitting by a huge wall covered in graffiti with soldiers guarding it. Someone who looks like a young version of Grandad standing next to a small boy in a hall, surrounded by lots of chessboards and tables. I drop them back in the box and pick up some yellow cards. There's a lot of German writing, and even if I could read German, I still don't think I could understand it because it looks like it's written in code. Vorgart MFX 862876. In the middle of it is Grandad's name, Frank Scope, and then his birthday, 21/12/1943. On another card, someone has written Ministrum für Staatschef, and there's a picture of a red hand holding a rifle. All the cards have the same name at the bottom, Commander Steiner. "Have you found it?" Grandad shouts up the stairs and makes me jump. I'm sure I put it on the dressing table. I quickly drop the cards back in the box. "You did, Grandad," I yell back. "I got it now. I'm just going to the toilet." I close the wardrobe door slowly and pick up the night.